Hey there, this is OneUpIndie and I wanted to show you a pretty unique game which is Supermash. And a quick disclaimer, I got this by Keymailer from concering by the developer, Digital Continue, and it was already released in 2019 in December, so I'm a little bit late to the party. But this game has some interesting core concept which is in theory a great idea, but in practice a little bit difficult to execute. What do I mean by that? Well, you are having those genres, see kind of a few, and those cartridges you can actually put two genres together and form a game randomly out of it. And the idea behind it is just, oh cool, I just put in two games together and I can spawn infinite amount of mini games which are from the SNES or NES era, and I'm never gonna play any other game again. Yeah, not gonna happen, I guess, because there are some things which you need to understand here. So for example, the JRPG genre, this is Final Fantasy clone, so to say, Metroidvania. Well, this is a side-scroller where you pick up stuff which unlocks other areas. Action adventure, this is a straight out Zelda 3 clone. Then platformer, this is Mario 1 Bros as far as I know, and of course with the newer graphical overhaul. Stealth, Metal Gear Solid on the SNES 1 and 2. Then shoot 'em up we already had. So the idea behind it is pretty compelling. So you're taking two genres, so for example the platformer, and then we go to shoot 'em up, which are things which normally shouldn't be put together for a very specific reason, because those genres are defined a little bit different. So here the game is basically now making, first of all, a splash screen, dinosaurs, Benjamin. Okay, why not? Creating a dynamically, randomly splash screen, then a cutscene, which is kind of interesting as well. So every time you get a new cutscene, kind of those things, and then you can jump into the game. First you get a player, which gets a random weapon, and then some special abilities. Yeah, let's skip that. Now we come to the most not favorite part of the game, glitches. These are basically buffs or nerfs for your character, and as you can see, kind of interesting. So basically I'm having a jump and run game, but with a guy who shoots rockets, and as you can see, hopefully you can see, some of those enemies are still from the kind of Super Mario area. There should be, come on, show me some which are from side-scroller, so from the shoot 'em up, maybe not, none. Okay, so sometimes you will see enemies from both sides. What is this? Okay, I traded it for an inferior weapon. Damn. So this is the idea. What you need to understand about this concept, even though maybe it sounds really cool on paper, that you are mashing genres which are meant to be played. Just you pick up your controller, you play, you throw your controller away. Please don't do that. Literally, at least. What you can do, you play those games, and for example the where you shoot 'em up genre is a fast-paced one. You just go and destroy some enemies and then you're pretty much done. But let's say you're having another genre which is the JRPG. This one is actually meant to be played hundreds of hours, or let's say 30 or 40, because this is a game which is based on progression. So you're having those fights in Final Fantasy 7 and lower, and then you're leveling up your player. But these two genres are in contradiction to each other, so therefore this is kind of difficult to mesh together. So the other thing, so I'm gonna go quickly over that. You're having dev cards. These are just one-time uses. Oh, not enough tokens, so this is how we can actually get ones. Or you play the game, and here you can actually see which one you have. So after you finish the level, you're getting those cards in those specific genres. For example, you want to use them because you want to have specific enemies, or you want to have specific well, a specific weapon on one run, because if you use those dev cards, then well, they disappear. And that can be in theory a good thing, but let's say for example you're finding one of those super annoying what was it, glitches, which is the debuff, and they can mess up the whole game, and then you put in your favorite cards in there because you think, oh, this is going to be a cool run, and then they completely ruin it, which is a shame. And for example here, this is, I guess, the incentive, the incentives of you to play, besides unlocking all those dev cards, that for example if you played enough of those levels of one genre, then you can actually challenge a boss, and this is the only thing which is static in this game. So it will randomly generate, I guess, the splash screen and kind of the storyline to it, which, well, we can skip because it's always the same dude. And then yeah, let's skip this one too, I don't really care. Yeah, come on, skip it. This is the part you can actually not go over because, well, I guess you need to see it. And then, well, this is what you get. So I don't have a weapon? Are you kidding me? I don't have a weapon? So as you can see, this is already how the game actually broke. I don't have a weapon. So so as you can see, randomness doesn't always work in your favor. I guess I had one of those pretty great glitches where, for example, you lose your weapon and then you cannot well, play the level. You need to go out. So these are one of the things which you need to look out. So once again, on paper it sounds pretty cool, matching different genres, but it is kind of impossible to do. And what the developer tried to do, so let's go for the shoot 'em up to quickly show you what is actually pretty cool. So basically you are trying to implement different kind of genres which have different mechanics into one thing, and therefore all those cores which you are having, so the whole game is made extremely generic, so you can put one genre into the other one, and therefore you have something which is kind of a mishmash of everything and nothing in the end, which is in my opinion necessary evil if you want to, well, mesh in together different kind of genres. So for example here, this one actually works pretty well, so pretty good. You can pick up different kind of weapons, so the shoot 'em up actually works pretty nicely. So I actually think this is one of the ones which does work here, because meshing of genres, I guess, would be if I would, for example, do this kind of thing, I would just mesh in genres which actually are just for the short term quick fun game. So this is one of those genres. Or for example, if you are thinking you like, okay, soft, okay, I cannot attack, great. So this is once again live. This doesn't work. So basically what I would do if I would be the developer, to make two kind of categories, one for games which are, let's say, short term, and one which are for long term, like the JRPG and whatever genre is well, demanding lots of time from you, and then it would actually work. So here, difficult to do this. Of course, I understand the developer give it some randomness concerning what kind of player you put in, what kind of weapon you give him, and then for example those glitches. I understand that the developer wants to make every run distinct, and this is the interesting part. For example, if you like a level the way it was with those characteristics, you can actually share it with other ones so others can play. Pretty cool concept, but you need to understand that the generic nature of this is making the game very repetitive, very fast. So I won't be seeing myself playing this game, well, too much. I played it a few hours, I liked it, but it cannot fulfill a need, for example, of a scripted game which predefines a few things. So here, if you've played a few levels, then you see a very fast repetition, then you say, okay, it was fun, next game. That is actually a shame, because the system behind it is kind of interesting. I like the approach, the way they did this. The graphical style, of course, is beautiful. let's not gonna lie at this one. So the whole presentation is very professional. I really like that one. I really dig how they did this. So for example here you can put in your dev cards and the length, for example player, and you have this one, yeah, and what kind of enemies can I have? Classy skeleton, yeah, it doesn't really matter. This is actually the idea behind it, so you can actually snag these kinds of games. It's definitely worth the try. You will have some fun, but don't expect it to keep you around, because I guess the glitch system, super annoying in my opinion. I don't like it at all. I know that it gives some randomness to the player and to the game overall, but most of the time those things are not enhancing the game. They are just a chore, and they make the game deliberately unfair in lots of regards. I got soft locked a lot of times, and this is a thing which shouldn't happen in a game like this. So overall, good game. It lacks some polish and some systems which actually elevate it into well, the epic status. That was it for today. Have a good one. One up indie.